The people of Oyo State in the late hours of Tuesday, the 16th of January, got the shock of their lives when an explosion hit the city of Ibadan. Governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, while speaking on the explosion, said the preliminary investigation revealed that the explosive devices stored by illegal miners led to the explosion that rocked the city. The Federal Executive Council, FEC, has ordered that a thorough investigation be carried out into the explosion that rocked Oyo State. The council gave the directive at the first meeting in the year 2024, chaired by President Bola Tinubu. Briefing State House correspondents shortly after the meeting, the Minister of Defense, Muhammad Badru, said FEC has also set up a committee to look into the issues of environmental degradation and deforestation. He noted that the activities of illegal miners pose a huge challenge to Nigeria, hence the committee to come up with a roadmap for tackling the menace. Joining us now on the morning show to discuss the situation in Ibadan and what investigations have revealed so far is Fatai, Owoseni, Special Advisor on Security to Governor Seyi Makinde. Great to have you. Good morning, sir. First,
good morning.
Commiserations and condolences and, heartfelt words of kindness to people that were affected. But I'd like to ask you this. How did people stockpile explosives in a certain area and the security agents in the states were not even in the know? Are there supposed to be some regulations of some sort for explosives? How did they do it and some people did not know and security agents did not even know in the first place?
Let me first say that the notion that Nigerians and everyone has that the security people must know everything. Yes, a bit right, but at the same time wrong. The concept and philosophy guiding security work, especially policing, is that the people are the police and the police are the people. Without credible intelligence, the security people will not know anything. Explosive purchase and use is guided by what we used to have in the Miscellaneous Act, Explosive Ordinance Law. And the law has provided conditions to be met by people who want to use explosives. It is put in that law. Some amendments must have been made, but I know that in our early days in the police, we use that law. So conditions are provided. How you will apply if you have a quarry, if you do mining. The conditions are that you must have a magazine. That's like a storage where you should keep these things. The Nigeria police used to be the one that worked with that, and later it was given to the civil defense. So it goes through the Ministry of Mines and, of course, the Office of the National Security Advisor for end user. When approval is given, the location and the magazine where those explosives will be taken to will be stated there. But along the line, maybe lackadaisical attitude, the fellows that will be asked to escort the buyers, the users, sometimes they may not do the right thing. Some of the people that we apply for those things, the address they indicate is not the address where they've taken the thing to. Rather than taking them to the magazines or the storage close to the area where they will use it, they will divert these things. And as usual, with some of the things that happen in this country, there is a lot of decadence. The monitoring authority, the Ministry of Mines and whatever, that are supposed to go and do a check, a background. Where is this magazine located? Does the magazine meet the standard that is supposed to meet for the storage of explosives? They will not go and do their work. And you now see some of these people that are using them, the criminally minded people among them will divert. And I believe that this is what must have happened in this case. Those fellows, it's not just last year or 2 years that they started living in that area. They've been living in that area for the past 5, 7 years. And of course, some of the people, residents in the area, including probably the landlord that rented the house to them, must have seen them move things like this. What we saw that happened is not explosive that are stored 1 month, 2 months ago. They must have in the process of doing their work. Why we say illegal is that when you bring such thing to a residential area, you must have been doing something illegally. So they must have been accumulating these things. And the way explosives work, including ammunitions, is that when you keep them for too long, and because of weather condition, any spark of light or whatever, either electrical sparkling, is just like flammable things. You will see what you have seen. It is possible that in that house they have like a bunker. That is the building from where this emanated. And of course, they're saying that if you see something, say something. So if people don't give information, intelligence report, if landlords want to also take undue benefit of, these people are doing bad business, and because they pay you a lot of money, you keep your mouth shut. So this is the kind of thing you have. We had similar thing in Lagos where people rented their houses to bunkerers who knew that the pipe taking fuel from Atlas Cove to Musimi pass under those houses. The landlords know, and they will go and rent it, and they will be doing illegal refining of oil there. So that is it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Owoseni. Let me ask a question. Since you say sometimes the landlords are in the know, so in this instance, he or she would be complicit. Have you identified the landlord? Because I know you've identified those who occupied that building. Have you identified the landlord? That's one. The second is that yesterday we had a report saying that some of the neighbors had a sense that that was what the building was being used for. Still, just to clarify, maybe to confirm that. And then that there might also be some other residences or residences in Ibadan, similar to what happened at Dejoyelese Street. Is that the case? And how will the government ensure that they're able to arrest cases of illegal miners who are housing explosives that could potentially prove very deadly in the city?
So, first, things that have to do with mining are on the exclusive legislative list. And of course, in this country, that's what some people are calling for restructuring. You must give the state apparatus, some obligations to monitor some of these things. But where you even go intervene and they tell you that we got our license, I can tell you that for the past 2 years, the Excellency, the Oyo State Governor, had been engaging the federal government with regards to mining. We discovered that there is an illegal mining market, gemstone market, in Ibadan, around Ojo, and populated by foreigners. And when you go there that you want to do any operation, either as police or state apparatus, they will show you approval, which they have gotten from the federal government. And I want to think that it is the kind of engagement that Governor Seyi Makinde did with the federal government that even made them to divest some power to say that international mining markets or gemstone markets will be created in 4 locations in Nigeria. And because of the push, they gave Ibadan one of that international market. With regards to these things happen, how do people don't know? Some people have even said we've reported before.
All right, we'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll continue to connect with Mr. Fatai Owoseni, Special Advisor on Security to Governor Seyi Makinde. You're welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News, and we're still speaking with Mr. Fatai Owoseni, Special Advisor on Security to Governor Seyi Makinde. Mr. Owoseni, thanks a lot again for joining us. You were speaking earlier and responding to the questions I'd posed with regards to the knowledge of the people as to the fact that there were people in the house housing illegal, explosives, and also the fact that how is the government able to prevent such from reoccurring, knowing that this is a prevalent issue, or perhaps an issue of concern in the state?
So like I mentioned, yes, governments won't know if people don't give information. People have come up to say, some people said they've reported that before. Why is it now that all those information is coming out? That is number one. Number two, people that have talked of complicity by government or security agencies, for people that know that location, people who live there, who own houses in that area, know the caliber of people that live there. A former deputy governor of Oyo State lives around that place. Some eminent, emeritus professor lives around that place. So these are people that cannot just be taken for granted that if such a thing has been reported, it cannot just be wished away. They have very strong landlord-resident association. So all these people that are talking, do they even bring this to the notice of the association? Like I said, when you have such a people living in such area, you can't take them for granted. And whoever that has reported must have brought it to the resident association. The resident association also have obligation collectively to get the landlord of that house and say, look, what you are doing within our vicinity, it is dangerous. It is just because here in Nigeria, when they talk of security consciousness, security advisory, we pay little attention to those things. Then, moving on, people have come out to say, oh, there are some other locations in Ibadan. It is just now that people are saying that. It is when this incident happened that people are coming out openly to say that some people that have been operating there. But however, with the interaction that His Excellency Governor Seyi Makinde had with the security and intelligence community in Oyo State, we've opened different avenues for people to come up with credible intelligence so that some of these areas can be checked. The Department of State Security have done some work before.
Can you share with us, Mr. Owoseni?
Frivolous information.
Can you share with us, Mr. Owoseni, these avenues you talk about? Because there are people watching who might have some information and might want to access those channels. Can you share with us some of those avenues where people can report?
There are telephone lines which I would not be able to quote now, but we have what we call citizens inquiry number in Oyo State. It is 615. They don't need to know you because through 615, we've gotten information on some other things that happen in the state, which the governor had made use of. We've been having, face-to-face interface with the community. Even as of yesterday, we had an interface with members of the community and the adjoining streets who also said, oh, we fear that some people beside us might be doing the same thing. And in order to keep all these things, we've told them how we can interact. Some people have been calling to say, oh, in this area, we suspect these things must have been happening there. So we are interfacing with them, and some other numbers have been given to them, even through the online method. So we keep on engaging our people with regards to that. What we just need here is for us to raise consciousness when it comes to safety and security matter. It's still an ongoing thing. You've also asked, have we found out that a lot of reports that we have that are indicative, even right at the site, from the debris. There are papers that were recovered that indicated that people living there had formally applied to purchase dynamite or something like that, getting approval from the Federal Ministry of Mines and Power and all those things. So we have, quantum of documentary evidence that can be used to trace. And it is very simple. When people make comments, they also think that people on the ground are fools.
All right.
The CAC is there to check the registration of the company and all those things.
Thank you, Mr. Owoseni. Now, as you point out that, there are now documents, there's a trail of evidence, information available, and I do also, I empathize with your sense of, I do feel a sense of helplessness almost from you. But what happens next? Because you've highlighted the fact that the governor is aware that there is a rampant illegal mining syndicate within the area. You've also stated the fact that you're aware of the lapses that are happening in the management of explosives. We know the federal government, of course, has called for a committee to review the legislation around explosives. But what are the next steps beyond relying on the Office of the Citizen to say something when they see something? What steps are you taking next to ensure that the rampant illegal mining activity that you've pointed out does not lead to any more incidents of this nature?
It is a collective effort. Like I've told you, mining issues are under the exclusive legislative list. I can say what our home governor has been doing. An executive order has been signed before now, where Governor Seyi Makinde said, federal government, you issued license, but the negative impact is felt by the local community, is felt by the state. So an executive order has been issued towards the end of last year to protect, the environment here, and it's a continuous thing. The National Assembly wants to review and whatever. Nigeria is one kind of a country. I can tell you, with my 35 years experience with the police, we have so many laws that it's not as if they are not enforceable, but the wherewithal is not there. When you talk of leadership, when you talk of enforcement, the people themselves must know that they have civic obligation to comply with the law, to obey the law, and of course, the enforcement to standard can also be raised. This is a collective effort. It is not about only government. It's not just about security people. Nigeria is probably the #1 country that is the most difficult for enforcement of law. There are some things that we do that we even say we don't know the law is existing. So is in existence rather. Do we also need to upgrade the capacity of our security operatives? You don't enforce a law that you don't know. I've mentioned the explosive ordinance law now. You will find out that some of the people wearing uniform have not even heard of that before. Then we continue to proliferate agencies. When you proliferate, is either you make some agencies to be redundant, they won't even know who is in charge of what. And that is part of what is leading to our security challenges. You duplicate roles, and when you duplicate roles, the possibility is that the agencies won't even know what they should do, and that is why there is no coordination. We have a lot of things to do with regards to security in this country. This is just one tiny thing. The state government is aware of that. If you know the efforts that your state has been doing with regards to illegal mining, constant raiding and clearing of the bush. We have the whole Oyo Park that stretches from here up to Niger State and whatever. If we've not been engaging, lots of things would have happened in this state. It's because we've been engaging. The state has been, putting a whole lot of effort to get the military and other security buying into our constant, clearing of the forest. This is a forest that has been left since the colonial period. The federal government or the state government will say that nobody is doing anything there. The forest guards are not there. Or your state as a...
Yes. Okay. Mr. Owoseni, if you can hear me.
In some other states with illegal miners to happen here.
All right, Mr. Owoseni, thank you so much. I would have loved to ask for you to confirm, just for official details, casualties currently on ground and just numbers of deaths. I see that the death rate has increased. Can you just confirm very quickly in 30 seconds, casualties, numbers, official figures?
As of yesterday, as of yesterday, as the governor indicated, we had 3 dead persons. 77 wounded. But this morning, just before we started this interview, the security operatives in that area had just sent me a text to say that 2 more dead bodies were recovered this morning.
All right. That's so sad. Thank you so much, Mr. Fatai Owoseni, for joining us this morning. We do hope that there'll be more recoveries and more people recover from the devastation of that explosion.